All right. So today we're going to be talking about arrays, and arrays are a very uh, neat property or a neat function in JavaScript. This is a way for you to store multiple variable or multiple pieces of information in one object. Okay, so up till now we've had we have a string, we have a number, we have a date, and we store that we store one piece of information in the variable. An array allows you to have multiple pieces of information, like in this case countries, and store it in the array. And what you can then do is you can reference the array by number. So I can say I want to see the fifth item in that array, and in this case it's going to pull up Egypt. You can see that this is actually the sixth one because it starts with 0. And what we're going to do is, in this assignment, you're going to create the array, you're going to display the information, you're going to access some of the methods of the array, specifically length, and then you're going to demonstrate how you can both display the information and you're going to alphabetize it. Okay? So this is going to be very, very useful as we're moving forward. And so we're going to do, first we're going to create an array of countries, okay? And you're going to see that's going to be here. And then we're going to display the content of the array like this. And we're going to set it up where it will count and tell us how many items there are in the array. And then we're going to be able to identify, put in a number, and it will tell us what country is what number. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to be able to alphabetize the array. So like that. All right? So let's start and let's get rid of all of this stuff. I did give you some startup information because just to save you from having to type all this stuff in by yourself. So I'll leave some of this in. But we're going to start off with creating the array, and that's the first part. So we're going to say countries, and this is how we do it. Countries equal, actually let me double check my code here. Okay, country, and then all right, so we're going to start off here, and what we're going to do is we're going to say var countries equal, and then we're going to put in here in our brackets. Okay, that's a hard bracket, a rectangular bracket. And at this point, what we've done is we've created an array. Okay, and the key thing about, let me get rid of all this stuff. The key thing here is that this is the object, the array, and that each one of these is an item in the array, and it can be accessed by its number. And the way it goes is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it starts with 0. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to, let me get rid of all this stuff. I can leave that in. We're going to show these countries. All right. So what you've noticed is that I have created this array outside of a function. Okay, so it's it's called a global variable, and so I can access it in any of my functions. So let's create our first function, which will be called show countries. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to change the inner HTML of this, my country list, to show the variables. All right, so we're going to say document get element by ID country list inner HTML, and we're going to have that be equal countries. Let's see if that works. Can't remember if that's going to work or not. All right, so it does. It shows, it gives me the list of the value of the variable. Okay. Now, I can also do with kind of a cool. This is a method of the variable is I can do something called a say join, and it's telling what do I want, how do I want those items in the array to be separated. So you saw that they were separated by a comma, but I can do join, and I can actually separate them by HTML. So I can go like that, and rather than it being separated by a variable or separated by a comma, I can have it separated by a line break. So that's pretty neat. All right, so all we did to start is we created an array by doing var variable, name of the array, equals, and then we have a bracket, and then each item is an item in your array, in quotes, separated by commas. All right, so that's first 1 and 2. Then we created a function, and I think I start you guys off with this, with show countries, but you have to add the on click and reference the function show countries in order to display, to replace the inner HTML here, div ID country list, with the appropriate list, okay? So that's item 1 and item 2. Next thing we want to do is we want to show, find and display the length of the array. And this is a method that is, or this is actually a property of the array variable, all right? So we have here span ID array items. So this says country, this is basically saying how many items are there in a country, in this country array. So what we want to do here is replace this question mark with how long the array is, okay? So let's say that we want to have a function called array count, and all we're going to do here is say document get element by ID. Remember, this is how we're going to change it. So I'm changing this here, array items, and we're going to do inner HTML equals, what we want to do is say countries length. This is the length of the array, all right? So this is going to be replaced, this question mark, this is the inner HTML, it's going to be replaced by the length when I click this button that activates the function array count. So you see it counted and it gave me 18 items, okay? Now this, Australia here, is item number 7. It's if I want to reference it, which we'll see here in a second, we reference it by 17, and France is 0, so it's 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's how we do number 3. Then what we want to do is we want to be able to enter enter a number and have it pull up the appropriate country. So this here is enter country number, input type text, ID country number, okay? And then when I click this button, which is going to say find country, then it's going to activate this function, and we're going to create that function right now. So what we want to do is we want to create a function called find country, and we want to change the inner HTML of this ID demo right here. So we're gonna let's start copying rather than just typing all this stuff in from scratch. So we want to say get element by ID and type in demo, and we're gonna change that to be and this is the first time we've done this. All right, country, and what we're doing here is we're referencing this by a number, okay? So if I said right now the number was 3, then if I go here, it's going to say 0, 1, 2, 3, and it's going to show the USA. So what we're going to do is have it be a specific something sent to us from the form down here. So right now I have that being document country number. Let's just test this out. I don't know that you can do this. I can't remember. Can I say document document get element by ID